Hey guys, Tal here, and in this video I will continue on Venafi overview, and this time we will touch on Gemalto Data Protection on Demand platform. It's a cloud offering from Gemalto where HSM, you don't need to have one on your premises, but you can consume it out of the cloud. A little bit of a note, today integration with Gemalto Data Protection on Demand allow Venafi to offload master encryption key. Later this year, maybe closer to the end of the year, Gemalto is supposed to introduce key export option, and then Venafi will be able to match functionality of on-premises Luna SA, where we can use HSM crypto resources to generate private key with higher entropy. So how you start with data protection on demand? You go to a Gemalto website, you click on Get Started, you fill some form. Within an hour or two, you will receive email with username, password, and your own tenant on cloud. So this is my information. I log on as an administrator for my tenant. And what I will need to do is to create a user that's going to be application owner. And this user, we will log on in a second to download client and to install it on machine and keep working with it. Also, as admin, you can configure services that will available to your organization. For, in my case, for user Tal, I will see all the snap-ins and not those that were disabled by security administrator. I'm logging out as admin and I will log on as application owner. I will need to create the services. Download customized client on my machine. As you can see, I can deploy certain services and some were disabled. I'm going to create service for Vault. I will call it VTPP integration. I'll click on next and I click on finish. Now what happened on the cloud right now, they create partition. This partition being assigned to me as a user, and in a second I will be able to create client that will connect to this tenant. And I can download client. So this is my client. I can open it. From the cloud standpoint, we done. Let me minimize this one. And now we will work with client. I will take all files. Within the folder, I have Linux and Windows. So I'm more interested in Windows right now. So let me extract entire package. Next thing that I need to do is to prepare environment. So let me go to command line. There's a batch file that will create a certain configuration in crypto.ini file. Next, we will prepare our partition to operate. So I will go to Luna CM. There's no label. It means that partition was not prepared to operate. It's what we call in zeroized mode. I'm going to initiate it. So first of all, it asks for security officer credentials. Then domain admin. It's very similar what we usually do for Luna HSM. Next, we need to create a security officer on this partition. So we just created partition security officer, PO, and now we're going to create crypto officer. I need to log on. And now I can create crypto officer. Now, based on design that Gemalto has in place, security officer will need to change his password on the first logon. With a security officer, and I'm going to change the password. Okay, so my partition is ready. Based on Gemalto release notes, we also will need to make a copy of one of the files into Windows subfolder. And we will configure KSP provider, and we're going to point it to our slot. Last thing to see is we're working on slot number 3. I'm going to create a HSM connector. I need to log on. And I will define it. Specify my crypto-key DLL, third slot, and my crypto officer password. As you can see, I need to create my DPAPI key. So I'm going to click on a new key. I give it a name. Select it and click on create. So what happened right now from a Venafi standpoint, we have a DPAPI symmetric key that resides within a Gemalto resource and not within the software. There is no need for me to enable advanced key protection because it allows us to generate keys within HSM, and this is not what we're going to do right now. A Gemalto Cloud does not support it yet. Next, I need to restart my services. And IIS server. I'm going to log on. I'll create a policy so I can control DPAPI key. Let's call it HSM demo. And what I do now, under certificate, encryption key, I will use Gemalto DPoD ABC key. And I also will specify CA template for this folder. So all rest will be easier. Let me create new certificate. And I will renew it. Done. So the question how I know that it uses appropriate DPAPI encryption key. So for this, let's go to SQL. Let's go to DBO store vault. and I will run the query to see all my keys. What we are looking for is the key with the value 256. It will represent the private key. And now if we will see all my private keys, you will see that this particular key that I just created right now use encryption key that's stored within Gemalto Cloud. So this is how we configure data protection on demand to work with Venafi Trust Protection Platform. Thank you for watching and see you on my next video.